everybody, I am Heather from fxcosplay.com and this is the beautiful Ashley Arrow. If you don't know who we are, check us out on fxcosplay.com and follow us on Instagram so that you can learn about all these blogs and watch more videos, and definitely check out our website for all the great supplies you're going to see today. So we are going to create and transform Ashley into Harley Quinn with the amazing Harley Quinn palette. Now this palette is awesome because it is water-based paint. So for those of you that have struggled with that greasy paint, you don't need to any longer. This is a great alternative. It is a water-based paint, very simple to apply, very simple to take off, and if you want it to last even longer, you can just add a little bit of a setting spray right on top or before, and that will help it last all day, not crack, comfortable on the skin, hypoallergenic, all that good stuff. So let's get started. So as I explained, this is water-based paint, and what that means is in order to activate it, you just need to get your brush wet or your sponge wet. Now, to create the Harley Quinn face, we are going to be doing a white background with a black mask. So I like to trace out the mask first, then go in, apply the background, and then go in and fill everything in. And you could do your contouring and everything like that. So I'm going to just take my brush, pick up a little bit of black to trace out the mask first. Just like this, build up a nice lather. So I like to use the corner of the eyebrow to just make this straight line and following the shape of the eyebrow, just like that. Then I like to just draw kind of like this little U right inside of there so that I know that there's going to be a dip in there. So then the shape of this mask is that it kind of curves and arches over the eyebrow arch. So for all of you ladies who have your eyebrows on fleek, then you want to make sure that you're following that same shape because that's the lift that we're going to give the eyebrow. So what I do on one side, I'm going to do on the other side. Then I'm going to create another kind of U right over the nose, right over the bridge, right inside of there, just so that I know that's going to be the shape that I need to fill in. And then I'm just going to close the mask. So next I'm going to take my same palette. I'm just going to spritz the white because we're going to use that as a base, and I'm going to pick up a high density sponge. This comes with your palette if you choose the set, and this sponge is a high density sponge, which means it's not made out of the foam latex. The ones that are makeup wedges, those absorb too much paint, so you'll just want to go ahead and hook yourself up with an FX Cosplay sponge because they're the best for applying this type of makeup. So once you have a generous amount where it's not dripping wet, you're just going to go and start covering the background. And don't worry if it's a little streaky in certain areas. The best part about this makeup is that it dries really quickly, but you can layer on top of it without it cracking and make it, fix those areas by just stippling. This motion is called stippling, and what it means is you're just kind of pressing the color back in to blend it all out. You're going to completely cover her face with white with your sponge. So using the edge of that sponge, I'm just going to go around the edges of the mask, and don't worry if you kind of get any on the mask because you're just going to cover that up anyways. So we'll just time lapse all this. Okay, so depending on where your costume ends and starts, you'll want to cover all the way down the neck. The same makeup will apply. Just like that. You can cover it relatively fast and then just go back in to just kind of blend it all out. Just like that. Now, one little tip that I want to share with you guys is this. This is Final Seal. There's an equivalent product called Liquid, also by Maron. It is setting spray. And what I like to use it, or the way I like to use it, is actually before I even apply the makeup. I mist the skin with this, and it acts as kind of like a barrier to sweat. So I recommend applying it beforehand. The only difference between Final Seal and Liquid is that the Final Seal has like a little bit of a minty fragrance to it. So if you're very highly sensitive to smells, then you won't want this one. You want to go with the fragrance free. So we're going to be using the grays in the palettes to do some contouring on the face, because sometimes when you're just laying down one base color, it doesn't always look good. It looks a little flat. So using my sponge and that edge, I'm going to pick up a little bit of that gray, and I just kind of test it on my hand, make sure that it's not too wet, and I'm going to And then I'm going to have her close her eyes because I'm going to create kind of like that dramatic, almost a cat smoky eye. So I start off on this angle right here in the corners of the eyes to fill it in. First with the gray, and then I'm going to flip my sponge around using this edge and picking up just a little bit of black. You want to make sure that your sponge isn't too wet. If it's too wet, it's going to be too strong, but you want a nice subtle black. And I'm going to turn it around so I get that edge just like that, and I'm just going to kind of blend it in to the edge of her eye. I will do that on this side as well. But remember, you're looking for a lift because that's the point. We're going for that dramatic eye. If your black was too strong, the reason I wanted you to have gray and black on both sides is so that you can go back in with your gray, layer, and soften it out and blend it out with the same stippling approach. So just like that. Now you also want to pick up, or we're using your black, making sure that it's a little bit more of a smoky, is that I also want to just smoke out right underneath her eye, and the edge of that sponge does a good job doing that too. Now using that gray again, I'm just going to add a little bit of a contour to her cheeks. So I'm just going to come from the top of her ear into her jawline, using that edge, kind of shade it up, blend it up a little bit, just like that. And then right here on the edges of her nose, coming out of the top of her mask, along those temples, right inside of there, so that your white isn't so flat as a base color. So using this brush, this is the only brush that is not, or this is the only tool that I'm using that is not included in your palette. But this brush is called the Little Drop brush. It's excellent for creating the eyebrows, for getting in the corners of those eyes. Again, load it up using black. So I loaded it up. And now, in following the curve of that mask, that's what I'm going to do. So I start off just like this, kind of with the flat base of it. Just head through her eyebrow and finish off thin. We're going for the dramatic eyebrow. So I start again here, press, follow her brow bone, and then get thinner towards the end. Now we are ready to, I like to again fill in with this Little Drop brush. I'm just going to pick up the black paint again so that I can finish off the mask. So here's her eyebrow. So I don't want to totally cover her eyebrow. So I'm just going to follow the shape of the mask, and I'm just making it thicker as I come around. Now the good thing is that when it starts mixing with the white, it's going to give it a little bit of a natural shadow anyway. So that's a good tip for you, so you don't have to stress too much. So I just am going to go over this shape, fill it in, go over the shape of the mask. And you see why this brush is so helpful, because it has a nice flat surface on it so that you're not coloring it in and taking too much time. While this is drying, before I go in and adding more detail to the mask, I'm going to pick up the red and accentuate her lips. Now this is water-based paint, so naturally it's meant to come off with soap and water, so it's not going to last as long on the lips. But what you can do is put down the red, put down your color first, then just add a little bit of Vaseline on top. That'll help it stay. So I start right here at the Cupid's bow. You can put on your lipstick, however suits you best, but for me I like to start there and work my way out. And this is another reason that this brush is so awesome, because it's a really good brush to fill in the lips. Now while this is dry, now's the time to go on top of it to add a little bit of a shadow and highlight right on top of the mask. So right on the bridge of the nose, I just go in and add a little bit of gray just to kind of give it that shadow, and then the side that you're going to add the highlights onto as a background. So just kind of dust it on there. This isn't too wet, just kind of like a dry sponge. Using your white paint, just going to pick it up to add another little highlight right on the mask, right on the bridge of the nose. So for those of you that like contouring, here you go. So I'm just adding a little bit of a highlight right on the mask, and if it's ever too strong, just go ahead and fan it out with your finger. And nothing completes the look quite like eyelashes. Now this step is obviously totally optional, but for me it just kind of brings out the eyes, really helps that lift inside of there. So I love these lashes because they have this kind of lift at the end. These are the eyelashes by Maron, the EF316s. You can find them on fxcosplay.com. So I just take my eyelashes and my eyelash glue, and you just want to run a gentle line across the edge, just like that. If you get too much on it, that's okay. Just dab off any extra on your paper towel. So I hope you guys enjoyed this fast, easy tutorial for Harley Quinn, one of the most cosplayed characters, and also pretty easy to do if you have the right tools. Again, this is a water-based makeup. We specialize in that, finding you the tools that you need that are affordable to help you create the looks that you want to create. Look how awesome Ashley looks. We're going to pimp her out. Again, when I'm not teaching this, you can get this face done in under 15 minutes. It will last all day without cracking, without smearing, and you will look your best when you're in your costume. So, happy Halloween, everybody. Stay tuned for lots more. Make sure you subscribe to this channel so that you can keep in touch with everything we have going on here, and follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Have a great day.